discussion. We're looking at the book Land Grabs in a Green African Economy. The authors hold the view that the land deals in Africa need to be done on a satisfy rather than a win-win basis. It recommends land policy interventions that would harness foreign investment in land on the continent. Professor Godwell Nhamo from UNISA is the co-editor, and he joins us from our Pretoria studios now. Professor, thanks very much for being our guest here on the program, and welcome.
Good morning, colleagues. Good morning to AM Live listeners.
Thanks very much. Professor, the department keeps, we keep talking about the land grabs in the green economy. Just talk to me a little bit more about this. What is it that you're actually covering in the book?
Thank you. This book actually was conceived to raise an alarm and maybe act as a soundboard to our African governments. What is happening historically is there has been the partitioning of Africa and also the grabbing of land in the colonial periods. But now what is worrying us as researchers is the mix and the complexity that has been brought by emerging trends in the world, one of which is the need and desire to address climate change and also transit to a greener economy. So what that has, it has an implication in having foreign entities that are interested in investing in our continent and also in South Africa in order to address issues of climate change through, for example, investing in projects that focus on biofuels or other projects that are focusing on protecting the forest and other projects that are focusing on possibly food security. So we are worried, or we were worried by the fact that there is some kind of a new wave of land grabs in order to address these emerging challenges, particularly climate change.
How is South Africa doing with regards to all of this?
Yes, we cannot maybe address South Africa in isolation to the continent for one good reason, in that yes, South Africa is taking a lead in especially addressing issues of climate change and also green economy. But what we see is there are a number of other countries that are also trying to drive the same agenda in terms of trying to address climate change and issues of green economy transition. So what we have seen in the book is there are a number of entities there that are also working with local leadership. It might be political leadership or those in positions of power in terms of parceling out portions of land in the interest, of course, we can say in the interest of development, but I'm saying we need to be careful as Africans and possibly take the precautionary principle so that we cannot say we have vacant land or land that is available for disposal to foreign entities, even if it means disposal to our local indigenous and local people. We are still saying we need to be careful in the book in terms of how best do we address this issue of land. Remember, issues of climate change and green economy are just coming on top of already existing challenges that we have in terms of land. We have situations, for example, in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, in Namibia, and other African countries where land has been previously owned by a few minority or the privileged few. And we've got instances in other countries where, for example, maybe 80% of productive land could be in the hands of maybe 20 or less percent of the populations.
Yeah, I unfortunately have to leave it there, and I know that there's so much more to discuss. But if people want to get a copy of this book, where are they able to purchase a copy from?
Yeah, this book has been published by the Africa Institute of South Africa. It is now under the HSRC, Human Social Research Council, here in Pretoria. But I think before I leave, I just want to say we've given a warning there in terms of African government needing to have proper land audits, knowing who is owning land where and why before we can engage in distributing new land. Yeah. And again, additionally, we've said when you're distributing land, especially to foreign entities, we need to know that when you release land, you have also automatically released water rights. So we cannot just release that land without releasing water rights. So we are advocating that maybe our African governments put in place policies that actually can address these issues, so that internally we know that we know what we are dealing with. Okay. For example, here we've got local people that have been sidelined by foreign powers that are stronger in acquiring this land. Thank you.
All right. Professor, thank you very, very much for talking to us and for getting that point across. Professor Godwell Nhamo from UNISA, co-editor of this book, Land Grabs in the Green African Economy. Let's take a break a little bit later.